it gonna pump? Is it gonna dump? Is it gonna pump? Is it gonna dump? Hey, is it gonna pump? Is it gonna dump? Just gotta switch this battery out. We're locked in, baby. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. How you guys doing? We're gonna talk about Bitcoin. Where's she going? Where are we in the timeline, right? Let me tone this down a tad. Yeah, we're back, baby. Alrighty. Let's get into it, folks. Let's get into it. Are we on? Are we on? I'm gonna read this article I wrote. Had ChatGPT help me out a bit. And we're gonna get into this. Let's get into the stream, dude. So this is an article I wrote. If you're new to crypto, stay tuned, because if you're new to crypto, well, you don't know where the fuck you are in this timeline. You don't know if you came in at the top, the bottom, the middle. Do you? Do you really know? Well, when I was new, I didn't know where I came in. I don't know if I came in the middle of the bull run, the bear market, the top of the bull run, you know. These are things that you have to understand, and you probably don't when you're new to crypto, right? And one of the most important things for crypto for you new guys is understanding the Bitcoin 4-year halving cycle. Because Bitcoin's whole premise revolves around the 4-year halving cycle. And I'm going to give you a no bullshit stream about the halving cycle, where we are, what to expect, and when is it over. Right? Now, if you're one of these guys that have been in crypto for a long time, at least a cycle or two, and you're still sitting there talking about, oh, I like to hodl my coins, I'm never selling my Bitcoin. Well, you're an idiot. Okay? Because you buy crypto and Bitcoin to sell it, not to hold it for the rest of your life. You sell it at the top and you buy back at the bottom. This is how this works. Okay? And I'm going to read you what I wrote for you guys. I had ChatGPT help me out and format it, you know. So let's get into it. All right, the 4-year cycle. Welcome to the Real Bitcoin School. Woo, by me. My name is Deuce. All right, so let's cut the fluff. Bitcoin is a beast, just like the overall crypto market is a fucking beast. And if you don't know how to tame it, well, the beast will wreck you. Okay? It'll have you flopping and groping. It'll have you angry as shit. It'll have you happy as fuck. It'll just have you going up and down like a roller coaster. And it'll have you in no man's land if you don't know where you are in the 4-year cycle. It's so important to understand that. Okay? So I'm about to school you on the most important aspect of Bitcoin, the 4-year cycle. You could take this as a lecture or not. I'm not some billionaire dude flexing yachts or Lambos. I'm just a regular guy. Born and raised in LA with a background in professional music, sales, and just building businesses. So let's be real. Our financial system is a dumpster fire. Governments print money like it's monopoly cash, and the value of your hard-earned dollar shrinks every day. Okay? But enter Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a monetary system, a universal, worldwide, one world monetary system that doesn't bend to Wall Street politicians or the Federal Reserve. Some call it a savior. I call it a lifetime. Okay? And understanding Bitcoin's 4-year cycle will help you change your financial situation. Okay? You've heard about the halving, right? If not, buckle up. Because every 4 years, the rewards miners get for validating Bitcoin transactions are cut in half. This process doesn't sound cool. It sounds genius. It keeps Bitcoin scarce, kind of like gold, but smarter, digital, and way cooler to trade. Yeah. Whatever. Okay. Here's the kicker that you need to understand about the 4-year cycle. It repeats like clockwork. It's been doing that ever since the inception of Bitcoin, ever since it was created. It's been going on a 4-year cycle because every 210 blocks, right, Bitcoin cuts its rewards, its distribution in half, compared to the American shitty dollar, where that monetary system just keeps printing money every year with an endless supply. There's no limit to that. That's why your Snickers bar right now is $2.50, almost $3. When I was a kid, it was 50 cents. Everything goes up because of inflation, a recession hits, unemployment. When those things happen, Bitcoin prevails and soars. Okay? So, the 4-year cycle repeats every 4 years. And if you know how to ride the cycle, you can make some serious gains. Okay? But most people, they jump into Bitcoin blind, buying the peak or the middle or the top. Most people come in at the top when there's the most FOMO, right? And when they buy at the top and the bear market hits, they don't know what hit them. They're panting, they're crying, and they're looking at their crypto like, dude, crypto is a scam. Get me the fuck out of here, right? And when you do that, when you buy at the top, you have to wait another 4 years, like you probably did, just to break even. And most people, when they break even, they're like, oh my God, and let me get my money out. And they don't know that the bull run extends to create a new all-time high, right? Because every 4 years, a brand new all-time high is created with Bitcoin. It has never, ever not done that, okay? So there are different phases of Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you a couple things here, okay? What's up? We got 2 viewers in the house. Congrats. So right here, I've pretty much showing you right here a timeline. And I'm going to show you some indicators that are going to help you find out where we are. But first of all, I want you to understand what we're looking at, okay? This is a historical timeline of Bitcoin since inception. You got it? This is the whole lifetime of Bitcoin, and I'm going to run you through every bull run it's ever had so you can understand exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Each cycle begins like this. From 2010 to 2011, we created Bitcoin's first all-time high. Now, in the first bull run, this is when things start escalating and things start forming into place for Bitcoin. The cycle starts forming itself, okay? So Bitcoin creates its first all-time high right here, 2011, okay? I want you to understand the sections of, what do you call it, of the cycle, okay? You're going to have 1 year of a bear market, which goes all the way down, okay? And I'm going to show you when the bear market hits why you have to sell everything, okay? You can keep a couple things if you want, but that's on you, okay? Every time we have a Bitcoin halving cycle, there's a thing called a market bottom and a market top. Always. There's never been a cycle where there hasn't been a market exact bottom and a brand new all-time high market top. Okay? So this is how this works. There's 1 year, it's a 4-year cycle. There's 1 year of a bear market and 3 years of going up. And that last year is the most bullish year in the cycle. After the last year, it goes straight into a bear market for 1 whole year. Now, during that bear market, do you want to hold your bag for 1 whole year while Bitcoin tanks down? And let me show you how much it tanks down. 86%. Do you want to lose 86% of your portfolio? Because when Bitcoin goes down, the whole market goes down with it. First bull run that Bitcoin encountered, after the top all-time high, we go into a year of bear market, and Bitcoin loses 86% of its value. 86%. If you had 100K Bitcoin and you're one of those guys that said, oh my God, I'm never selling my Bitcoin, dude, ever. Well, go ahead and don't, idiot, because you're going to lose 86% of it. What does that leave you with? Less than 20K of your portfolio, okay? Let me show you how consistent the bear market is and why you sell at the top. This is the next cycle. There's 1 year of bear market, 2 years of ascension, and 1 last year of a humongous bull market. Right after the bull market, you have what? 1 year again of a bear market. And let me tell you, again, consistently, why you want to sell at the top. Because you are going to lose 84% of your whole portfolio. Okay? I'm not bullshitting you. This is the second cycle. The second bear market of a 4-year cycle. Okay? 84% of your portfolio is gone. You still want to hodl? And you think that holding Bitcoin forever is the way to go? I think you're an idiot. Let's go to the next bull cycle, okay? This is 2020, 21, our last bull run that we all went through. Okay. You reach the market top. We had a big fake out back to 71K. And what happens? The bear market commences after a brand new all-time high. And what did I say? The bear market lasts for 1 year. Each of these candles represents 1 month. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And there is your 15K bottom. Okay. Now, why would you want to hold Bitcoin when there's a bear market that lasts for 1 year and your portfolio, your whole portfolio is going to drop 77 to 89%? You still want to hold all your crypto? And you think hodling is the way to go? See, that's a term, hodling, that lazy investors use because they don't want to do no research. They don't even know how to read a chart or anything like that. You know, they just think that, oh, I can just hold Bitcoin forever. And yeah, you can. But if you were to sell and profit and stabilize at the top and wait 1 year and come back with that profit, that house money, and rebuy, you're going to 5, 4, 6x whatever you did. And let me tell you, when you go to the bottom of the bear market, all the altcoins are in the graveyard, dead quiet, as quiet as a fucking library. And they're super cheap. Okay? So the top comes in and you rise again. This is the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin, guys. It is very, very consistent. Okay? And if you're new to crypto, you wouldn't know anything about the cycle. This is why you want to learn about the cycle, because it's going to give you the timeline of when to buy, when to purchase, and when to sell. Because when you buy at the market bottoms of the 4-year cycle, right, you have 3 years of just kicking back and watching your gains. Okay? When you buy the bottom of these cycles, I'm telling you, it is so important to understand what you are walking into, okay? Because a lot of people that are new, guys, it takes years and years. It takes about 2 cycles or 1 cycle to really understand this if you're around good, smart people, knowledgeable people in the crypto game, okay? So let me see if you guys are with me. We have 2 viewers. Are you guys paying attention? You guys understand? Because I really want you guys to learn something. All right. So I just want you to understand these patterns. Okay. Each candle here is worth 1 month. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something else. This is called the Bollinger Bands. Okay. Now I have them right here. They're called the Bollinger Bands, right? These things right here. These lines. These are called Bollinger Bands, okay? Now, what happens with these Bollinger Bands on the monthly candle, on the monthly timeline, right, is every time we go into a humongous run, which is called, for me, it's called the euphoria stage. It comes within the final year of the 4-year cycle, okay? And it is the most bullish candles monthly candles, and the biggest gains, and the FOMO is just entirely epic, and then it rushes right into the bear market. Okay? Now, why are the Bollinger Bands so important? Because the Bollinger Bands on the monthly chart show us the gateway to Bitcoin heaven when the biggest gains happen. Okay? Every time we see the Bollinger Band, there's 3 lines in a Bollinger Band. There's a top red line, there's a middle blue line, and these are all moving averages, okay? And there's a bottom. Now, the most important one we want to look at is the bottom, because the bottom on the monthly chart will always indicate through every freaking bull run when this bottom line drops down like it's fucking Niagara Falls or like a cliffhanger type of deal. Look what happens above. We get an immense run. Each month, each candle is a month. So right there, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That lasted for a whole year. Now you need to understand how consistent this is, right? I just want you to know that this Bollinger Band is telling you that we're about to enter euphoria. Now, that was the 2012. Let's go to 2016 bull run, right? The bottom commences. We reach the all-time high from last time, right? We tie it up. And what happens down below? Oh, we have that vertical drop on the Bollinger Band. Bam! It just goes straight down, right? And what happens above? The most euphoric phase, the final bull run, happens. And it happens for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months this time. Okay? So what happened in the first one? It went for 12. This time it went for 9. Okay? Just watch the characteristics and the patterns here. You're going to learn a lot. Okay? The news ain't going to teach you shit, guys. All right? The news will have you flopping and groping, have you making some stupid decisions, and they'll have you right where they want you, okay? Now, here we go on the next bull run here. What happens? The market bottom commences, we rally for a year or two, and then what? Boom, look at these Bollinger Bands. They start making that downward, steep downward movement. And what happens upstairs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of straight bullish activity. 6 straight months of just going up. That is the last final phase of the bull run, okay? And then a big fake out. If you sold at the top here, you did well. It didn't matter because you only went up $2 more thousand after the fake out, okay? After the brand new top, what did we say happens? You go down for 1 straight year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Why the fuck, in anyone's right mind who knows money, would you want to be one of those idiots that say, oh, I'm never selling my Bitcoin? What, you're just going to sit there for a whole year and watch your 100K Bitcoin go down to 20K? Is that what you want to do every 4 years? No. You buy Bitcoin to sell it at the top and to come back down for 1 whole year, buy it with your profits, and do it all over again and keep stacking the guys. Okay? Now let's zoom out. Now that you understand why the Bollinger Bands is such an important indicator to tell us that we're about to go into the most euphoric part of crypto, and look at the statistics, okay? You see how these gaps get longer and wider every cycle we go through. Interesting, right? Because every cycle, the Bitcoin halving cycle gets extended from the market bottom to the market top. You will see that every 4 years the cycle happens. We get extended from the market bottom to the market top. I just want to show you in the first bull run, right? The first bull run from the market bottom to the market top lasted exactly 2 years. Okay. That is this length, this green line. I just marked it, right? That is the first bull run. The second bull run from the market bottom to the market top was exactly 4 months extra. Okay. Now, when you go to the third bull run, what blew my mind is from the market bottom, like we talked about, after the bear market, to the next all-time high in that cycle, it was perfectly another 4-month extension. So after the first month, it was 4 months. After the second bull run, it was 4 months exactly to the T. Now, with that information, what did I do? Well, I just did what any fucking scientist would do. I would take that 4 months from our brand new market bottom in this bull run right now, and I extended it to the end of the third bull run. And where does that leave us at the market top for this cycle? December 2025 or January 2026 would be our market top. And that is something that you don't have to believe in. You can watch any other YouTuber and take your thoughts and run with that. You know what I mean? This is my opinion. And you don't have to fucking believe me. I don't really give a fuck if you do or not. But I've done so much extensive research. Now, what we're looking up right now is called the stochastic RSI. I want to show you why the stochastic RSI is so fucking important when you're coming brand new into crypto and why it's important in the long run. On the monthly chart, it'll help you find your market bottoms and your market tops with everything we just talked about. Okay. So, with that being said, let me show you why the RSI, the stochastic RSI, is so important and how it can help you find these market bottoms. Now, on the RSI, whenever you see the RSI, right, when it's coming down in the bear market and you see this violent turn, right, of the RSI hopping over the yellow line, and it needs to be at 0. You see this right here on the right side? This is the chart for an RSI. The middle, the blue highlight goes from 20 to 80. But below 20, it's 1 through 20, okay? 1 and 0 being the lowest point of the RSI, right? Now, when the RSI hits the bottom, and you see this blue line cross over from that point, that is when you know the market bottom is in. And whether you're 1 month in front or behind, it doesn't matter. As long as you fall in this little zone, the gains are massive. Okay? Now, with knowing the timeline of the bear market, every bear market, except for the first one doesn't count because that's Bitcoin's inception. Nobody knew about Bitcoin. But now, after people Liquidity started flooding the market. Now here's when the cycle really commences, right? So we know the bear market lasts for 1 year minimum, no matter what. You need to understand the bear market is going to last for 1 year. You are going to go down for 1 whole year. Get that in your head. Knowing that, after you've hit an all-time high, and Bitcoin will show you on this stochastic RSI, the all-time highs as well. Okay. Now it'll fake you out, do this and that, but when you see this RSI point up like that, you see that point, that acute angle, and cross down below, that is when you know, and you look above, the market top is in. Do you see that? Okay. And after that, we go to the bear market for what? 12 months minimum. Okay. How do we know we're there? Well, to be honest, you could have bought in on this one here or here, right? Because the market bottoms happen twice. You see that? One down here, one down here. Now, if you would have bought either way, even in between this whole section, right, you would have won. Because the gains, like I said, when you target the market bottom, you're kicking your feet back and you're chilling. You've won already. This is how you fucking trade the whole crypto market. Okay? Look at these gains. Once you find this market bottom, and how do you find the market bottom? I told you. Once you see that violent uproar of the blue line crossing over the yellow line, you're in. You're in. And it's got to be down here, okay, below the 20 or the 0. And it has to have 1 year at least of the bear market. That's when you know it's okay to jump in now. You got to go through 1 year of the bear market. Not 6, not 5, not 8. No, 1 fucking year. Okay? Here we go again. Now you know. Here we go. Look. There's the top. Look at that violent downward motion. Crossing downward. That's how you know the bear market is in. And what do? You wait 1 year, right? Look at these RSIs. Then you have that uproar of the blue line at the what? At the 0 point. That's when you know the market bottom is in. After you look around, after 12 months, look around for that bottom. Look at the RSIs. Are we slammed at 0? Is it about to cross over really violently? If it is, man, that's the time to accumulate. Because when you do, you're going for a humongous run for 3 years straight without touching anything. All right? Look at the Bollinger Bands. As we come to the bottom of the bear market, what does also the Bollinger Band do as well? It shoots all the way up and makes a right angle. Isn't that interesting? That's another characteristic that you need to pick up and learn, because that's going to show you that the bottom is in again. And these are very, very consistent. See, the Bollinger Band picks all the way up in the bear market. On the bottom, it starts curving to the right. That is another indicator, along with this down here. I'm showing you all these different little things to let you know how to find these spots. Okay? Same with here. It goes all the way up and turns what? Right. That is how you know. with the Bollinger Bands. And look at this violent uproar, right? From 1.25, the cross. That is the bear market bottom. And when you buy those bear market bottoms, guys, you are winning at the beginning. You understand me? And that is how crypto works. How everything in crypto works. You win right when you buy it. Okay? That's why you need to learn these things. You need to learn the 4-year cycle, because if you're new, you don't know anything about that. You're just coming in on a whim. You know what I mean? Now, there's other charts that we can look at. I want you to look at this thing. It's called the pi cycle. Okay? It's the PI cycle, the pi cycle. Now, there's a couple things in this pi cycle, the lines I want you to see. Okay? Notice these lines. You got a couple lines here. You got a green line. You got a green line. You got a deep red line, another red line here, right? And I want you to see what happens to this red line and this other green line. There's 2 green lines and 2 red lines, okay? When we go into that massive bull run at the end of the year, what happens is we have this period of where these lines are spaced out, right? Then once we start to rally towards that upward movement, you can see that these lines start to get really, really tight and close together and start hugging each other throughout the whole run to the top, okay? This is what I want you to see with the pi cycle, okay? Here's the second bull run, right? We go down 1 year and look at the lines. They're parallel, going in an upward movement. Once we hit that immense euphoric phase, right? What happens to the lines? They're parallel with each other, and then they start squeezing together as we go up. That's 2 times in a row now. 3rd generational halving. What happens to these lines, right? They're parallel, right? And as we go up for that euphoric phase, what happens? Look, the red line starts tweaking upward. This green line follows it as well, and they get tight, right? That's 3 times that has happened. Here we go again. What happens? Bear market kicks in. We go parallel, right? And then what? Well, we're not there yet, okay? We're not there yet. We're about to enter a very, very euphoric end of the year finale, okay? Will we have corrections? Absolutely, we're going to have corrections. We can have a fucking 38% correction at any given point here. And right after that, we're blasting off, okay? This is where we are in the 4-year cycle, okay? Now, let me erase all that doodling I did. Okay. So where are we now? Well, we are rallying, guys. Right now, the price of Bitcoin is 103K. Now, this is the golden pocket. It stands at 102. The 0.618 is right here at 101. And we have a level here at 99, and this is a macro Fibonacci, okay? And remember, these are monthly candles, okay? Now, another thing I want to show you to let you know that the bull run is not over. Let me turn this pi cycle off. And let me put it on the 1 year. This means Bitcoin, every candle is 1 year. And I want you to understand why the 4-year cycle is absolutely real. Because you have your market top, right? Every cycle has a market top and a market bottom. And every cycle has a brand new all-time high, okay? So these are yearly candles. I want you to look at the consistency of what's going on. You have 1, 2, 3 bear market 1 year. You remember, each candle is 1 year. 3 years of going up, 1 year of going down. There's your cycle. 3 years of going up, 1 year of going down. There's your cycle. 3 years of going up, 1 year of going down. There's your cycle. And then what? 1, 2, we're still on our 3rd year. Where are we going to finish this year? I have no idea. I couldn't tell you that. But I can show you these things to help you understand where we might be and where you are in this timeline. We know for damn sure that the bull run is going to end by the end of this year. This year is the last year of the bull run. And we know after this year, we're going to have 1 straight year of a bear market. That is factual because it's written in the code, in the history. Now, a lot of people say, you know, we're not going to go that high. We're not going to do this and that. And, you know, a lot of people don't think 200K is possible. You know, a lot of people don't think 300K is possible. A lot of people don't think 130K is possible. But it is. It absolutely is. Will it? I can't tell you that. But I bet you a lot of people in the past were saying, when Bitcoin was down here, oh, we'll never make it up to 13K. You know, when Bitcoin was $30 or $200, and when Bitcoin was $3,000, I bet they were saying we'll never make it up to $64,000, right? And I bet when Bitcoin was 15K, I bet they were saying we'll never make it up to 100K, right? So here we are at 100K. I mean, there's a lot of months left in the year. A lot can happen. This year is very different. We have so much adoption. We have so much liquidity coming from institutions, ETFs, the government, Donald Trump in the White House. We're talking about a reserve for every fucking goddamn country. Japan wants one. Fucking Russia wants one. Everybody wants a Bitcoin reserve. We're talking about trillions of dollars bum rushing Bitcoin. Is that going to happen? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you if that was going to happen or not. But we are in a different time and state in crypto. This is not the same as 4 years ago when the SEC and the governments were against it. The paradigm is shifting. Now, another thing I love looking at is this thing called the RSI. And when we look at the monthly RSI, baby, it is looking very, very nice because, like I said, the end of the bull run, like I said, when you see this violent sharp turn to the upside, and we're on the monthly chart, and you have to understand the monthly chart is very, very consistent. It rolls out. You know, the 4 hour, 2 hour, the 30 minutes, these are very shaky. They're not as consistent as a 1 month or 3 month prediction or scope. Okay. And when you see these violent turns, these acute angles, these are very, very sharp indicating turning points. Okay. Because I want you to see what happens up above when we do get those sharp points. What happens? Look, right there, boom. We went down from 100K all the way down to 77K. Okay? We just got a sharp point from there, boom, from 77K all the way up here. And the line is straight as an arrow and pointing straight up. I love that because the momentum, which is the RSI, that's what it's measuring, the volume momentum of money coming in and to whatever side, the upside or the downside, right? This is very strong to me, okay? And we have until December, right? We could be in for an amazing run here, okay? Now, are we going to get a correction? Absolutely. You're going to get a lot of corrections. How many corrections? Man, we could get a couple because in order to pump up to a very euphoric stage, you have to come down and correct and get the massive pump. And I'm going to show you how big of these drops during these pumps, right? What can happen, okay? Because look, on the first bull run, we had some massive corrections in the last final months. I'm talking about, look, boom to boom. That's a 74% drop. That is going to scare the shit out of you. That's going to move you out the market, right? Even before this big candle right here, what did we do? We dropped from boom, boom, 53%. You're going up and down this wick before you finalize the month and bam, we're out. Okay? Look at this. The next bull run, euphoric stage, right? The final run, which is what we're in that moment right now. Okay? We're about to build some candles like this. So what happens during this whole buildup? Well, we have some corrections here. Look, we have this, boom, this wick all the way down to that wick. That's 39%. A 39% drop feels big, trust me, when it happens. If you're able to hold on to that, because you know that we're still in the most euphoric phase and it's not over, you're going to succeed because you're going to get rewarded with a huge exponential gain to the top. And even then, you hit that top, right? You wicked down another 36%, but only to what? To recover right back up for 117% gain. Okay? And even here, you wicked back up, you came all the way down 51%, and you wicked and you shot all the way back up from here, from the bottom to the new all-time high. 241% gain. prepare. Let's look at this. In this bull run, let's see what happened here. Now this one looks beautiful, but you had a humongous, look at this fake out. And then look at this wick right here. Boom, all the way down here. 32%, right? But when you hung on to that, you rose up another 100%. I'm telling you, this is how the bull run works. There's going to be corrections. Vince, good job. You're learning, my friend. Here we go again. Now look at this drop. Boom, boom. A 54% drop, right? But it came back down. It came back up for what? 130% movement. And then the bear market commences for one whole year. Okay? Then we hit the bottom. We accumulate. We ascend. And now we tie the game, right? Now we're about to go on our euphoric run. Now, how high can we go? That's the question that I don't really know. I can't tell you how high and what number we're going to hit. But to be safe, my original target before all this political bullshit and America getting pro crypto on us was 115K. Because if you do the math, you need to understand all these different things that have happened. In the 2012 cycle, the halving cycle, right, which is what these bull runs are, they're all a part of the halving cycle. Because the reason why Bitcoin pumps like this is because the rewards are slashed in half. Okay? Fuck, I forgot my train of thought. But, oh yeah, in this whole cycle, you had an 88,000% increase. I mean, 8,800 from $13, right, from the market bottom, or from the halving date, right, the halving date, to the market top. You went from $13 to $1,100. Okay, that is an 8,800% increase for that cycle. In the next cycle, we go from $664 to $17,000. That is a 2,500% cycle. So we go from 8,800 increase to 2,500% increase. On the next cycle, the 2020 halving, we have a 600% increase from $9,734 to $67,000. Do you see the characteristics here? Although price rises to an all-time high, the profit margins decrease from 8,800% to 2,500% to 2020 being a 600%. That sounds little, right? But in number-wise, we're talking about from 9,000 to 67,000. That's bigly, okay? So when I did the math and averaged out the increases, our next increase from the halving date should be around, we lose about 70% each time. So it should be around 250, 200 something percent, 220% or something. You know what I'm saying? And if that was the case, I did the math, it brought us to 115K. But that is without all this, this governance coming in from the industries, the institutes, the ETFs, America creating maybe a Bitcoin reserve and buying trillions of Bitcoin, along with the whole world. When you throw that whole FOMO rush of the whole world putting in money now, not an average civilian putting in $1,000 here and there. I'm talking about government bodies of different nations throwing down billions. We're talking about a humongous pump here, okay? Now, I don't want to sell you on a dream that might not even happen, you know, but I just want you to know that that can happen. It's very, very possible because if you look at Bitcoin's timeline, it has never ceased to create epic all-time highs, right? Let's just run through it again, right? You create the all-time high. You go down a bear market for 1 year. You ascend for 2, and that last year is the most euphoric phase, right? There's your first cycle. Then you come down for another bear market, right? Then you ascend for 2. You tie the all-time high. Then you have your most euphoric phase. Okay? Let's do it a third time all over again. You have your top. You create that bear market for 1 whole year. You ascend for 2. And that last year is a brand new all-time high. Okay? Here we go again. Bear market 1 year. You ascend for 2. And that last year is the most euphoric phase in that cycle. Here we are in that phase. How high will we go? Well, now from this point on, guys, we need to look at these RSIs. We need to look at the Bollinger Bands to tell us where we are in this picture. Okay? Have the Bollinger Bands dropped yet? No, they haven't. Because remember, I told you, when the Bollinger Bands drop, that's when we know we've entered that euphoric phase of just going up, up, and up for months. Okay, look, Bollinger Bands drop, up, 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 up. Bollinger Bands drop, up, 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 up. Bollinger Bands drop, up, 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 up. Bollinger Bands drop, up, 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 up. Bollinger Bands have not dropped, but when they do, up, 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 up. All right. Give me 1 second. I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back, motherfuckers. Yep. Alrighty. So yeah. This is what I'm on, man. This is what I'm on. This is my obsession. Because I am on this motherfucker. And trust me, I'm not one of you. I am not you. And I don't ever want to be you, because if you're new, you're going to be one of those guys that hangs on at the top and says, I'm never selling my Bitcoin. Okay, you don't want to sell your Bitcoin? Okay, then watch it go down 85% for one whole year. And ask yourself, why did I do that? Okay, this is not your savior. You're here to manipulate it. Don't let it control you. Don't let it be some kind of a god on a pedestal for you. No, you're here to slap it around and tell it what to do. You're here to buy crypto and to sell it. You got me? That is the mission. We're not here to glorify it and show our friends that, look, I got Bitcoin, look how much it's up. No, that don't mean shit until you bring it home. You have to bring the bag home, or it don't mean nothing. Okay? What that means is you have to stabilize your profits. Okay? Once we get to the market top, you have to sell that shit into USD and wait for 1 year and buy it back at the bottom and quadruple plus everything again. And do it all over again. Sell it at the top again. Buy the bottom with the same fucking gains, free house money, and you're just doing it over and over. And new people don't understand this. They never will unless you know about the Bitcoin halving cycle. And pro traders trade the halving cycle. They're not just trading Bitcoin because the news says it's something you got to have, or your mom or dad tells you should buy Bitcoin. No. We trade it because we understand the 4-year cycle. See, when you trade with the 4-year cycle, your mission is not that hard, because Bitcoin is the easiest asset to trade. That's why it makes it the dopest one. Because once you understand the 4-year cycle, now you're looking at it from the top down and not from the bottom up, where everything seems weary and you don't really know where you're at, and you're listening to the news and other YouTubers for a sense of direction. You fucking idiots. Excuse me. But that's what I'm saying, guys. This is the most consistent thing you'll ever invest in your life. Okay. And for me, I'm just sitting back and looking and waiting. If this government involvement, or, this reserve Bitcoin shit involvement and all that, is going to do something to this cycle, right? Is it going to manipulate the cycle to where it doesn't happen? You know what I mean? Because in all essence, when I did my prediction, you see this box right here? That is where I have Bitcoin topping out, dude, at 115K. But the problem for me is we have so much time left in this cycle that topping out at 115K for me, it's not making sense. The math ain't mathing for me. I feel something bigger on the rise here. And the way that this RSI hit that bottom and it looks like it's going straight to the top, well, I love that. Because you got to remember, this is a monthly chart, okay? And each little segment we go up, look, see the bottom? It says June, July, August, September, November, October, November. If this thing keeps going up and up and up and up till we hit November, oh my God. We're going to be in for a hell of a ride. And 130K, 150K, 170K, 200K is very, very possible. Now, that's just my opinion. You don't have to believe in anything I say. You could go fucking worship somebody else's YouTube cock. I don't give a fuck. This is my research. This is what I think according to the pi cycle, according to the fucking Bollinger Bands, everything. This is just how I see it. According to how long the bull runs have lasted each generation, they've been extended for 4 months to the T, every single one. So me being a fucking stat man and logistic man, I added 4 to the end of the third, and it leaves us at December 2025. And I'm sticking to my guns. And, you know, if I'm wrong, come back and slay me, stone me, do whatever the fuck you want. I want you to. You know? But look, this is incredible consistency, right? These bear market bottoms and these tops are very consistent, right? Now, this RSI is very funny because we can go all the way up, boom, downward again, and then go all the way up again and still get a higher price action. So you need to know that too, because look, when we came down from here, boom, you should have sold right there, but look at that. The blue line crossed over, right? The blue line crossed violently over, and we went up to 71K, and then the real bear market hit, right? So who's to say that we can go up here, hit that line, right? Because there is a trend going downward. Boom, come down, correct, like a 37% that's normal, come right back up, jump 100%, still be up here, right? It's very possible. This is how these things could work, right? Or that is one scenario with the RSI. Or the RSI can actually just keep going up and up until we get to that spot in December and then come down while the yellow line trails it and goes underneath. Boom. That can happen too, right? There's a lot of different things that can happen, but that's why it's important to understand, you know, these indicators and how to read a chart, because the chart can show you things the news doesn't. See, the news plays with your emotions. The charts are non-emotional. They just show you what's going on. Anyway, that'll be it for today. Or if you guys have any, what do you call it, coins we want to look at, let me look at Ethereum. Oh, this is another indicator that I like, the ISM Purchasing Managers Index. This is something that we have to consider, because every bull run, right, has a holy shit, a wow, and a normal bull run. Okay. When we reach this height of the ISM at 58%, that is when you know we are at the peak bull run. Okay. Now, if we keep going above 59% into this 63 range, I mean, the biggest runs in the financial markets happen when they reach that 70%. Boom, boom. Right here we have a 64, but look where we're at right now. We're on the brink of going up right now. Okay, we're going to do a fat straight shot to the upside. When? I don't know, but within this year, I think it's going to happen. Here's the January 26th mark right there. So we could see something fat, dude. Okay. We could see something crazy happen. And I know for a fact, dude, it's got to happen this year. This is the final year of the 4-year cycle. Here's our total 3. The total 3 is everything market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. So this is like altcoin. And look at my altcoin chart. This is going straight to the T, right? $1.2 trillion in our last altcoin bull run, right? Here we go again. We're about altcoin season. Is still in play to me. It is following the trend to the T, right? And soon enough, we are going to tie the all-time high again and break it and break out of this whole wedge area. Okay? When that happens, I think after December. Because altcoin season comes in after the Bitcoin bull run. Okay? Because after everyone takes their profits from Bitcoin and all that stuff, they shove it all into the other shit coins and altcoins and meme coins and all that. And that's when we're going to get our massive altcoin pump right after the Bitcoin bull run is done. And I will be there to sell all my altcoins as well and do it all over again on the next cycle. And yeah, look, once the bear market hits after the all-time high, well, we're going down for a whole year. That's when you put in the short, and you're just shorting this market for a whole year because we're going down for a whole year. See, when you know the cycle, you know which way the trend is going, the overall trend. When you don't know anything about this cycle, you're just fucking lollygagging it. You don't know what trend is happening. You're clueless. Real pro traders trade the 4-year halving cycle. And that's what we're in this. Have a good day, guys.